Hey, MCE crew. The United States of America is out there living straight thug life. The government, not the people. The government, some of the people. Call the cops when you see Tupac. But what I'm getting at is this government is making moves in the international economic community that are going to come back to haunt we the people. Now, you saw what Biden did on yesterday when he cut off oil exports from Russia. I always tell you, Russia accounts for 21% of the gasoline that we import into America. You take that offline and it's going to have a definite negative impact at the pump. We're going to see prices skyrocket. I know you already have. I was thinking about doing some footage of, gas stations and prices, but you've already seen it. You experience it, so there's no need for that. So he went and he did that. Cut off that supply. Who's that supposed to hurt? Because it's going to hurt the American economy much more than it will Putin or the Russian economy. Again, we saw evidence. I posted the video. Russians are like, hey man, que sera, sera. We're planting potatoes. This is not the first time we weathered a storm. We're going to tough it out. What do I mean by thug life? All right. Well, we're out there doing stuff like this. Russian oligarchs move yachts as U.S. looks to hunt down and freeze assets. So this would be akin to, let's say that the script was flipped and Russia was doing this to us. This would be like hunting down Elon Musk, or no, more appropriately, Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon. And I say him because he bought the Washington Post and he's been a lot more politically active and closer to the government than Elon Musk has. Elon Musk is doing this thing where he's a pariah, really, in the Biden administration. They don't like to promote Tesla at all, even though that is the most successful electric car company by far. So imagine if Putin said, we're going to seize Jeff Bezos's property because he has a relationship with President Biden and he has a relationship with the people in power in the United States. So we're going to run around the world seizing his assets. Okay, it's pretty much what they're doing. And the United States, is acting. When I say thug life, I mean that, because oftentimes thugs, they don't think about the consequences of their actions. They just do. This is what America is doing. We're just doing, okay? And again, the American government. So that's already starting to have an effect. You've got Mohammed bin Salman, the pretty much the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia. He's the young crown prince who is going to, be taken over there. This guy's no joke, okay, in several ways. Number one, he understands the economy. Many years ago, he created a sovereign wealth fund and started to move their asset base from being so oil dependent. Okay, he put part of Saudi Aramco, the national oil company, he put part of that on the open market and sold shares, part of it. It's one of the largest companies in the world in terms of, that public offering. They're saying this guy is refusing to take Joe Biden's calls. And he's one of the key people in OPEC. It's just, look, let me say something about Biden. And, maybe this won't be popular, but it's true.
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
Biden is an elderly gentleman, and you can tell he's elderly, okay? He's obviously got some things going on cognitively. I mean, it's obvious. Come on, guys. You don't need to be, Dr. Oz to figure this out. And so he's not respected, okay? First of all, Barack Obama is reputed to have said that You should never underestimate Joe's ability to fuck things up. That's a quote from Barack Obama, all right? Let alone Bill Gates. He's a former CIA, a different Bill Gates, William Gates. Former CIA director, former national security advisor, former Secretary of Defense. Gates said, and I'm not going to quote him exactly, I'll put it up so you can see it, but he basically said that Biden's been wrong about every foreign policy initiative in the past 40 years, okay? The guy's a joke on the inside. They know that he cannot do this job, yet and still he's there. 80 million votes, my ass. So, first Brazilian president, I'm not going to pronounce that guy's first name right, so Bolsonaro, President Bolsonaro of Brazil, declined to condemn the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Then India followed suit as the Modi government attempted to balance its historic ties with Moscow and its strategic partnership with Washington. Now, Saudi and the UAE, United Arab Emirates, leaders are refusing to take Joe Biden's calls as the U.S. president tries to contain surging oil prices, according to the Wall Street Journal, which adds that the Persian Gulf monarchies have signaled they won't help ease surging oil prices unless Washington supports them in Yemen and elsewhere. Listen, that's politics. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. I got something you want, you're going to have to do something for me. What does Biden expect? That he's going to go in there and ride on the coattails of what we've done with and for Saudi Arabia decades ago? It doesn't work like that. And he spent so much time in Washington, D.C., he should know that. But again, him and the people around him do not understand the world. They do not understand the economy. And who's paying for it? We are. So bin Salman and the Emirates, they're not playing ball. There was some expectation of a phone call, but it didn't happen, said one U.S. official of a planned discussion between Biden and the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. It was part of turning on the spigot of Saudi oil. Now look, I'm sure bin Salman and these other guys are looking around and watching the situation in Russia and saying, you know, if we piss the U.S. off, they might do the same damn thing to us. Okay, they want to control our foreign policy, and we don't like that. We want to control our own destiny. Now look, I'm not saying that these countries are right in what they do, but you're not going to let somebody, let's say you got your neighbor who is allowing you to run an extension cord across his property so that you can connect to the cable network, okay? So you can get cable TV. Don't you think that you're going to have to, play ball with this guy if he comes over and says, hey, can I borrow a bucket of water? I just need your hose for a minute to get some water because I want to wash my car. What reaction do you think he'll have if you say, no, you can't use my water when your electrical line is running across his property? I don't know. Now, here's the other thing. Biden could, instead of begging the Emirates, Biden could very well just say to our oil producers, hey guys, go ahead, let's start producing. Let's start producing oil. And that's what they're asking for. These oil producers over here in America are saying, look, approve our permits so we can get to drilling. And you won't have to be on your knees, old man, over there in Saudi Arabia begging like a toothless dog for oil. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, they can't get that, the administration, and oil spikes. So we've been put in a situation where this country is at the mercy now of others. And here's why. Because the fools in D.C., they had this crazy-ass belief that if you drill somewhere other than the United States, it's more environmentally friendly when we're on the same damn planet, okay? So if you drill down the street and you don't drill over here, it's going to have the same impact on the planet. But this is, again, these liberals, they believe that Power comes from some magical source. You take a unicorn's horn and plug it into the wall, and boom, there you go. Okay? They have no idea that renewables, I love the idea of renewables. I live out here on this property, well and septic. I'm one of the most environmentally conscious people you want to meet, but I'm also a realist. And I know that if I buy Tesla, I'm driving a coal-powered car right now. And I know where my electricity comes from, and the primary sources are coal, natural gas, and nuclear. Okay? So let's get real, people, and start to understand what's really going on in the world so we can make better financial decisions. Now, look, I want to give you a blueprint because you're really going to need to know how to move through the changing environment that we find ourselves in. The United States is going to lose its reserve currency status. The dollar is going to lose the reserve currency status. We've gone over that many times, and it's going to change how we live. So there are some things that you can do now that will put you in great stead for when that happens. And these are things, for all the skeptics who don't believe it, these are things that if it never happens, guess what? Then you're just in a better position, okay? So first, look, it sounds trite, but it's true. Pay down debt. All right, now let's have a conversation about debt. All debt is not bad debt. There is some debt that is bad debt, and that's a high percentage credit card debt. Debt that you use to finance a mortgage, one that maybe is on a property that produces, we'll get to that in a minute. That kind of debt is productive debt, okay? Because it is low, usually low interest, and it helps you leverage. So what do I mean by leverage? Well, you can go out there and you can buy a $250,000 piece of property. You can control that property for $20,000, $25,000 down. Okay, so you got a lot of leverage there. Okay, so pay down that debt, that unproductive debt. Manage your debt well. Okay, you don't want to get in over your head. You don't want to over leverage. Okay, that's what happened to a lot of people in 2008. And they lost their properties. You don't want to be in that situation. Now, you know I'm not a fan of paying off the house immediately or the property immediately, because that debt is so low that it's manageable. And you can probably put that money to work elsewhere and get a return that's higher than the interest that you're paying on the mortgage, okay? I am a fan of having the money available to pay the home off if you need to. Let's say something really unfortunate occurs and someone gets, a really serious illness. Now your family has to deal with that. Well, then it might be advantageous to pay that house off so that you won't have to worry about that from a cash flow standpoint, okay, every month. But remember, you never really own your home because in most jurisdictions in the United States, even after you have paid off the home and retired and are on a fixed income, you still owe property taxes. But you own it from the bank. Okay, that's the key. So pay down the debt. Buy some land. Okay, land. I'm not talking about a house. You could buy some land somewhere, and maybe you want to go in co-op. And the reason I'm saying buy land is because land produces. Land produces food. Good arable land produces food. Now you're gonna have to do some research. You can't just go buy the old parking lot down the street that is nothing but gravel, okay? You can't do that. We're talking about land that can produce some food. We're talking about land that maybe has some timber on it. You can sell that timber, replant it, and keep that going. Some land that's going to produce some income or calories. Some land that's going to allow, livestock to graze, okay? You can lease that land out to farmers, to ranchers, and make some money. Now, why am I not talking about renting? Renting is viable, but you got to be damn careful of where you rent, because I would never rent a property in Baltimore City. The reason for that is because their government is unreasonably tenant favorable. They're not fair, okay? Now, if I were a landlord, I'd keep my property in Baltimore City. I'd keep my properties tip-top shape. These people wouldn't have to worry about any safety, comfort, or convenience issues. But in Baltimore City, they don't care about that. The government and the rent courts, they hate landlords. So That's why I'm not mentioning renting, although that is viable depending on where you do it. And remember, we just went through 2020 when the government said you don't have to pay rent. And oh, we'll get to the landlords when we get to them. You lose your property, so what? People aren't talking about that anymore. Start a business. Okay. It's imperative that you start a business. Now, I'm not saying quit your job. There could be a hybrid model where you get into a business that allows you to maintain your employment. Okay. And the financial services business could very well be that business. Could be. Okay. Not sure. But mcenow.com. Go to our website and check out some of those opportunities. We talk about that. And if you want more information, you can get in touch with us. But I say start your own business, because when you start a business and it's productive and profitable and well managed, then you're going to realize the highest return on investment potential of any asset class, okay, from your own business. Not to mention, you will be able to, and we're going to get into this next, you will be able to take advantage of legal methods to reduce your level of taxation, because there are more tax deductions that you can legally take as a business owner than you can as a W-2 employee. So, start a business. Next, pay your taxes. The easiest way to put yourself in a situation where you lose control of your assets is to mess around with the IRS. So get some expert help. Get a CPA. I do not, especially if you're going to start a business, don't mess around. You can't give yourself an appendectomy. So don't try to do your own taxes. In fact, taking an appendix out might be less complicated than doing taxes for a business. So get yourself some expert help. A CPA. Somebody asked me a while ago, well, how much is a CPA going to cost for my business? And I told them, well, you know, nothing really if you are investing in them to help you save on taxes and keep you from running afoul of the IRS. Okay? If you're running a good business, it's an expense that you should be able to handle. So definitely do that. Pay your taxes and get competent experts to help you through that. Okay? Make sure you do that. Lastly, structure your wealth such that you can legally access money in a tax-free manner. Taxes are going to increase. Okay? The only way out, one of the only ways out of this issue that we're sailing into full speed as a country, is for the government to raise taxes, because the dollar is becoming less valuable. So they're going to need to get more taxes from you. Now, if you structure your wealth such that you can access your money tax-free, then you're ahead of the game. Guess what allows you to do that? An insurance policy. That's right. Is not just for dying. The insurance policy can help you right here in the here and now. It can help you put your hands on money, finance your lifestyle by taking loans from yourself and doing so in a tax-free manner, because the money you put into it has not only already been taxed, but thanks to IRC, or Internal Revenue Code 72E, it's been allowed to grow tax-free. Okay? So that's the blueprint, guys. We'll talk much more about that because the world is changing rapidly. The United States government is finding itself in a situation where it's not being respected. And that respect has an economic impact on us, the citizen. Guy came down on my property the other day, a neighbor from over there somewhere. I'm walking the dog out on the property. He comes and says, I see him coming, and down the road. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, how you doing, sir? I'm your neighbor, and I'm running for office. Now, where I live, it's a 90% chance that this guy's going to run as a Democrat. So, okay. I already know I ain't voting for you. 90% chance. Even before you hand me your literature. And he starts talking to me, and sure enough, and I say that to say, look, Democrats don't understand macroeconomics. Okay? This guy is an attorney. Nice guy. Really nice guy. There are a lot of politicians that I know that are really nice people. Great people. I smoke cigars and have beers with them. I don't vote for them because they do not understand macroeconomics at all. Okay, at all. So I'm not supporting that, and I would encourage you to take a good long look at how you vote, because it is evident at this point Democrats don't get it. I'm not saying Republicans are the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're not. Okay, they're definitely not. But one thing they tend to understand better is economics. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. To learn more about how you can achieve financial independence, check out these videos we recently posted on the Money Changes Everything channel.